Welcome to Environmental Science. This is AGNR60, which is a fully online class. I'm going to spend a few minutes going over some important information with you about the class to make sure you can be as successful as possible. First, a little bit about me. My name's Ken Nolte. I've been teaching classes like environmental science, forestry, wildlife, and biology for 19 years now. I've lived and worked in a variety of places around the country. I'm originally from Wisconsin. I spent time in Texas and Arizona doing research. And as I've mentioned, I've been out in California now for 19 years. I'm married to Linda, who you can see in the image here. If anybody recognizes this background, it's actually Glacier National Park. My office is on the main Reading campus, room 1118. My office phone number is on the screen, but since this is an online class, you can always get a hold of me via email, which is at the bottom of the screen. But preferably, if you do want to contact me, send me an email within this online platform, which is called Canvas. But I am available to meet in person during office hours. So if you have any reason to talk, discuss any problems, whatever, just feel free to get a hold of me and we can arrange a time to meet. I've provided the course description here and you can read over that. But basically I realize this course fills a general education requirement, and that's probably why most of you are taking it. My main goal is that folks who take this class leave with a better understanding of our environment and how each of us can do our own little part to help save the planet, do our part to make this a better place for us to live, and a better place, and a cleaner place for our children to ultimately live. I use a textbook called Visualizing Environmental Science, and it's in the 4th edition right now. I'm fine if you want to use the 3rd edition, or I guess even possibly the 2nd edition. The only problem with that is that keep in mind there are some differences, and you are responsible for the information that's being presented, which is from the 4th edition. So the 3rd edition is probably 95% the same. So if you have a previous edition, go ahead and save some money and use it. But keep in mind there are differences. Have the course objectives listed here, and those are also listed in the syllabus, so you can read through those. These are just some of the big picture things that students who take this class should have a better understanding of by the end of the semester. We're also required to have learning outcomes for each of our courses, which are basically measurable achievements in the class. So again, you can read through those, which are also in the syllabus. Also in the syllabus are some of the important college policies. For example, keep in mind that if students are no-shows during the beginning of the semester, most of us instructors will drop students for excess absences. But usually, and I know for me, for certain, that's only during the beginning of the semester. Once we get through the first week, it's the student's responsibility to drop if you decide to stop participating in the class for whatever reason. So again, the bottom line here is that if you quit participating in the class, at some point down the line, don't assume that I'm going to drop you from the class. That is your responsibility. And unfortunately, when students don't drop a class usually the grade ends up being an F. If you're listening to this, it means you're enrolled in the class, so you don't really need to probably hear about the waitlist policy. But just keep in mind for future classes that if you do end up on the wait list of a class, it isn't a guarantee that you have a place in the class. So make sure that if you're on the wait list, you're in contact with the instructor, and if they have a space for you in the class, they'll actually give you a sort of an enrollment number that you can use to officially add the class. Also kind of important to spend just a minute or two talking about academic honesty. You can read the language that's on the screen here. For you and for this class, the bottom line is that you need to do your own work, whether it's taking a quiz or whether it's submitting the online discussions that are required of this class. Copying and pasting information from the internet and putting it directly in an assignment and claiming it or pretending that it's your own work is cheating. It's dishonest, and basically it's not too difficult to tell if students are using their own work versus if there are things they are copying and pasting from the internet. Fortunately, I haven't had to penalize too many students over the year. Most everyone does the work and doesn't cheat in any way. But again, just keep it in mind. It's easy sometimes to be researching something online. You find something you like, and again, it can be easy just to copy and paste it into an assignment. Be aware that that is cheating. Also, it's very important for me as a faculty member to be certain that all of my students have access to everything they need to be successful. Whether it's something that I can do for each student to help you be successful, or whether it's some service the college can provide to help you be successful. We have a student program and services office, and the numbers on the screen, that is here specifically, and they're trained to help students be successful. If you know or suspect that you may have challenges, whether they're physical challenges, maybe needing a more comfortable chair because you've got a back issue, or whether it's someone to help take notes for you in a class, or whether you need extended time to complete tests. That's what the DSPS office is for. So if you have any concerns or questions, things that you think might affect your ability to be successful, please don't hesitate to call them. All right, down to the nuts and bolts, the kind of stuff that's probably most important to you folks. There are 6 quizzes in this class. Each quiz will be on 3 chapters, and each quiz is worth 30 points. There will be a bunch of random questions that get selected for each student when you log in to take a quiz. They're always going to be multiple choice, or there may be a few questions where you have to, provide a brief answer, or maybe match some image to a question. But mostly they'll be multiple choice. I'll talk a little more about the details on how the quizzes will work later. But 180 points possible in quizzes. 250 points, so you can see the majority of the class is going to be in the discussion topics. 10 of those worth 25 points each. And then also responses to other students' posts that are worth 100 points total. So the course total is 530 points. For those of you out there, and there always are a lot of students, including myself when I was a student, who maybe don't do as well taking quizzes. So notice that 350 out of 530 points are in the assignments, not under the pressure of having to take a quiz. So a little more about the quizzes. Again, there will be 30 questions for each of the 6 quizzes. Each quiz, again, will be on 3 chapters. No final exam or cumulative quiz. So no cumulative quiz for this or test for this class. The days and times of the quizzes are listed on the syllabus. So I would strongly recommend, at least for me it always seems to work best, if students print a copy of the syllabus so you can have that right there by your computer, or so that you can put it in a binder and have it available. Again, all of the specific days of the quizzes are listed on the syllabus, so please check that so that you don't miss a quiz. Unfortunately, students do miss quizzes, and I do not allow any makeups unless you've talked to me ahead of time. You know you're going to miss a quiz because you're traveling or something. So if you let me know ahead of time, I'll work with you. I'll allow you to do a makeup. But if you contact me after the quiz, I will not allow you to make it up. 90 minutes, so that should be plenty of time to complete the quiz. Obviously, you can use the book, the notes, the internet, anything you need to answer the questions. And 90 minutes should be plenty of time to complete the quiz. Quizzes will always be available starting on Thursday and closing at midnight on Sunday of the week that the quiz is scheduled. So again, the days for each of the quizzes are listed on the syllabus, but be aware that you'll have 4 days, or I should say sometime 90 minutes on one of the 4 days that the quiz is available. I would strongly recommend that you don't wait until Sunday at 10:30 at night to take the quiz, because if your computer crashes or something happens, that's on you. I can't control the internet, I can't control your computer, I can't control your internet connection. So please don't wait until the very last minute to take a quiz, because sending me an email, Sunday at 2:30 a.m. or Monday 2:30 a.m. and telling me that your computer crashed is not a reason for allowing you to retake the quiz. So don't wait till the last minute, please. And again, just one last time, if you have any problems with assignments or anything, contact me. If you talk to me, I'll always be willing to work with you if you talk to me ahead of time. So just don't put things off till the last minute, and stay in contact with me if you have any questions. As I mentioned, the assignments are the bulk of the grade in the class. There will be 10 discussion topics throughout the semester on a variety of different issues. The way this works is that initially I'll post a question that each of you will have to respond to. I'll typically post the question on Sunday night, which means you'll have Monday, Tuesday, and until Wednesday at midnight to post your response to that question. There's a rubric at the top of the Canvas page, so you can look at the rubric to see how I'm going to score your response. But the main thing is that each of your written responses must be at least 200 words long to even have the possibility of earning all 25 points. If they are shorter than 200 points, or 200 words, you will lose some of those 25 points. But if the response is well thought out, well written, and it's your opinion, so really there isn't a right or wrong if it's your opinion, then you should earn the full points. But again, I would strongly recommend you type it out in Word, spell check it, do a word count to make sure there are 200 words, and then copy and paste them into the discussion forum. So that's half of it. I'll post a topic, you write your comment on it by Wednesday of each of the weeks that I have a topic posted. Then in addition to that, you'll be required to read all of the other student comments. So you're not just going to write one, you're also going to have to read the other ones that are posted. And then you'll pick one of those, and you can respond to more than one, but for the grade you need to do a minimum of one, and then post a reply to that student's comments. Those are worth 10 points each, and those are due on Sundays of each week that there's a discussion topic posted. Since we don't meet in person, the process of responding to discussions, reading other students' thoughts, and posting a response to them is sort of meant to replace the fact that we don't meet in person. So it's kind of meant to fulfill a participation aspect of a class. With the assignments, you can submit them late, so there probably would be a reason why you might miss an assignment. But as long as you post your discussion topic or response within a week of when it was originally due, I'll still give you partial credit. Anything past 1 week after it's due will not be counted. But again, I have a bit of a grace period. You can submit things within a week of the original due date for at least partial credit. And I've gotten feedback over the years I've taught this class, and generally the most interesting part of it really is the discussions. So take them seriously. They should be easy points as long as you just pay attention to the class, stay engaged, do the reading, read other students' comments, and really just enjoy the class and put some thought into it. And you should get a lot back out of it. These are also on the syllabus, but I've included some important dates, things that probably are good to know. You see on there, August 28th is the last day to drop and receive a full refund. September 4th, the last day to drop a full-term class without getting any kind of record. The two holidays, Labor Day on the 7th of September, Veterans Day on the 11th of November, and then we of course get the full week of Thanksgiving off, so those dates are listed there as well. Also, November 13th, the last day to withdraw with a W. If you withdraw by the 13th of November, you'll have a W on your transcript. It's not terrible if you get a couple W's, but you do want to try and minimize that. Too many W's might indicate to a future employer that you can't follow through or complete things. So again, this is kind of a global perspective class. We're going to cover a lot of different topics, from air pollution, water pollution, and climate change, to forestry and wildfires, things like the future of renewable resources. So not only is it hopefully an interesting and informative class, but I also hope that you think, as we go through these different topics, how they relate to you, things you can do, little things or big things that you can do individually, things that you can share with your family or friends that can help them be better stewards of the earth. Each of us has the responsibility to do our own little part to help make the planet a better place to live. There's a DVD that I typically show to my face-to-face class called Dodging Doomsday. It was on YouTube for a while, and then it got pulled, so if it's available, I'll put a link to it in Canvas so that you guys can watch it. But there's a gentleman in there who's talking and makes the statement that, he basically saying, we're not going to run out of oil. We'll move on to a different technology before we run out of oil. So inevitably that'll happen. But basically what he says then is, given that, he still worries that by the time we actually stop using oil, how's our air quality going to be? How's our water quality going to be? Are we going to have clean water to drink? Are we going to have clean air? So it's not about, today, it's about tomorrow, and it's about the future. As humans, we have to try to think more long term and not be thinking just about ourselves. We need to be looking at the big picture. Another person in that same video talks about how it's kind of like the way we use our resources on this planet. The way we use things like coal and oil and natural gas and trees and water and air. The way we use those resources is kind of like we're walking around blindfolded, just doing stuff. We're not thinking about the future. We're not worried about what's going to happen next. And walking around blindfolded is great until you kind of walk off the cliff because you didn't see it coming. There certainly could be a tipping point on our planet where things are going fine, and then all of a sudden we fall off the cliff. Sometimes even though we've fallen off the cliff, we're zooming down towards the ground and we're sort of saying, well, things are going great so far. They're going great until you hit the ground, right? They always talk about how it's not the fall that kills you, it's when you stop suddenly hitting the ground. That's what kills you. And I just want to do my little part to make sure that we all don't walk around blindly heading towards a cliff that we don't even know exists, when we can do things now to prevent from even getting to the point of falling off the cliff. So hope you enjoy the class. We're going to cover a lot of different topics. I really look forward to your input. I'm just going to kind of sit back and read the posts and kind of enjoy your thoughts as we progress through the class. But in closing, anytime you have a problem, don't hesitate to send me an email and let me know if you have any problems. I'll do everything I can to help you. I'll do anything I can to answer any question you have, and just take advantage of that. That's all I can ask. Take advantage of the fact that I'm willing to help you and willing to do anything I can to help you be successful in this class.